Stephen Ward is with us. Stephen, good morning to you. How are you getting on?
Morning, lads. How you doing?
Good, thanks. What's your level of excitement/anxiety ahead of this game?
I think it's just more of excitement, really. I think the game's probably been a long time coming around, and I still speak to a few of the lads, obviously, that are involved. So, they're raring to go. I think it's obviously exciting with the chance of qualifying. So, really looking forward to the game.
We're having a conversation here. It's very early on in Stephen Kenny's managerial career for such a big game. So, obviously, you hope that his ideas and philosophy has already been ingested by the team. And you would have to say it looks like it has been. It looks like the shape of the team is getting to where he wants it to be. The performances haven't quite been there just yet, but there were two very different teams that he picked for the first two games. Obviously, with this game in mind, it looks like.
Yeah, listen, I think he was probably, using those last two games to sort of see exactly what he had in the squad, see who would bed into the way he wants to play, especially for this game. So, yeah, listen, it's very early in his sort of tenure as manager, but I think there was really positive signs in the first couple of games. But, listen, the size of this game, I think if we're being completely honest, if we can go there and win with style, everyone will be delighted. But I think the most important thing is getting a result. He might have to tweak a few things on how we exactly play. But, like I said, for him, it's massive to get us qualified. And if we can do that, then there's plenty of time. There's a good few months then where he can really, impose his style of play. Obviously, listen, they'll have a game plan. They want us to play a certain way. But I think, anyone watching the game, anyone who follows Ireland will just want us to win that game and move on to next month.
Yeah, I think because it is do or die, it's a cup match and there's going to be a winner on the night. A lot of different things can happen, and you can pick a game plan around that. We had Kevin Kilbane on yesterday. We were just playing that clip a minute ago where he was talking about the defensive high line and how it does leave you a little bit open. The benefits are obviously that you've got more players in the opposition's half of the pitch for pressing and getting the ball back quickly. The difficulties as a defender, I suspect, are that you're left one-on-one to defend quite a lot. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that's actually like to play in that style and the benefits that maybe you as a defender might have preferred with a back four dropping back and a midfield kind of offering support and a security blanket?
Well, I think first and foremost, if you look at the way Stephen wants us to play, it's high press, very possession based, and I think obviously the main positives of being high and being up the pitch, you're a lot more compact and you do have a much greater chance of winning the ball in the opposition half, which, as silly as it sounds, you're close to their goal. You only have to make a couple of passes to create a chance. And, on the other hand, it's a risk because, you are so high and, one lapse of concentration and the ball over the top and you can be in real trouble. But, Stephen's a very experienced manager and he'll have watched Slovakia. He'll know their strengths. They're pretty possession-based as well. He'll check if they've got a lot of pace up front, pace in wide areas. So he'll judge his sort of pressing line off that. He won't. I can't see him being too, sort of gung-ho. He knows how big the game is, and we will play that certain way. We'll try play out from the back. We'll try keep the ball and create through the thirds to create chances. But, I think when it comes to the defending side and, where we press, Stephen will have done his homework and I think they'll be well prepared for that.
How well have they adapted to that, in your opinion, in terms of pushing up a good bit, in terms of leaving that space behind? Because I guess, if anything else, Stephen, it's a bit of a mental shift for a defender knowing that you are leaving that space in behind you.
Yeah, but I think if you look at the back four and the lads that play at club level, that they'll all be playing at clubs that that use this system. They all, play possession based, fullbacks high, pressing from the front, and they'll be well used to playing a high line. It's just obviously, I suppose, with Ireland, sometimes in games we've not always had our fair share of possession, and naturally you drop deeper to make it harder for the opposition. Depending. Playing, obviously, if you're playing in Germany and you think you're going to be sort of outpassed, you have to have your pressing line a lot deeper. So I think, like I said, if you look at the lads that are playing in them positions, they're all playing high level in the Premier League. They're playing at teams that are very open in terms of pressing high, getting up the pitch. So it won't be anything new to them. Obviously it'll maybe take Stephen a bit of time to get the team playing exactly how he wants to play, but there's no reason why he can't get parts, little bits here and there as the games continue. And I think you're seeing that in the first couple of games. I think we had more possession in both games, which is, probably something that's quite rare for an Ireland team, especially 2 games on the trot. But, they'll use their line, as I say, on how Slovakia play. I don't think Stephen, as a manager, he's well experienced. He wouldn't be naive to have a really high line if they had a lot of pace up front. So he'll judge it off them. But I still feel the style of play will be the same. And like I said, the lads, I think we're lucky enough now. If you look at the squad, we've got a lot of players playing in the Premier League against top-level opposition. And most teams in the Premier League want to play the same way. They want to press high, they want to get up the pitch. And, they'll all be well used to it. For me, it won't take the team long to adapt to how he wants to play because, like I said, that most of them are doing it at club level.
The one thing about the Seamus Coleman injury is that it sends Matt Doherty a message that not only was he first choice for Stephen Kenny's first 2 games, he is definitely going to be first choice for tomorrow night's game. Does that offer a boost going into an international camp, not being under the cloud of mystery about whether or not it's going to be him or me?
No, not really. I think, obviously, everyone goes in hoping they're going to play or wanting to play. And the sort of the way it is within the Irish squad and the sort of togetherness, there's not really that element of massive competition. If you pick to play, the other player will support you and so forth. So, for me, it was a big decision. It would have been down to Stephen. Both players have done well this season. Obviously, I think Seamus has started absolutely flying for Everton. Matt's obviously got his move to Tottenham and bedding in well there. So, yeah, it was a big decision, one that he's probably maybe a little bit relieved not to have. But I think, not having Seamus around, I think day to day is a big loss because he is the captain. He's a leader. He's really good around the place, and that'll be a real miss, I think.
The defensive issues that we had in the first couple of games, how much was that down to just it being a new system, the off-season, the first few games back after lockdown? Was there anything that you saw that would have concerned you in the medium term that actually, someone there needs to step up and decide, right, I'm going to be the leader of this back 4 and I'm going to make sure that everything is organised?
Listen, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think what people forget is that, not many of the lads have played any, competitive football. They'd just come off the back of a really strange season where there was a break. They come back playing. They had a couple of weeks off and they were straight into playing international football before, kicking a ball for their club level. So, yeah, listen, you find it in a lot of pre-season games. Your timing might be off. You might be a yard slower stepping up, but these things come after 2, 3, 4 games. And, thankfully, most of the lads have gone back to their club. They've played, a handful of matches, so that they should be much more prepared, much sharper, and sort of back playing to the level that we know they can.
And is that easy enough? It's as simple as that. So Shane Duffy's played a load of football since then. John Egan's played a load of football since then. There was definitely one shout that if Coleman had been playing right back for those 2 games, because he is such a vocal presence, that a little bit of the disconnect between the centre-backs in particular might not have been allowed to happen.
Yeah, listen, Seamus is a leader and it's someone who's a leader on and off the pitch. But like I said, with the lads that are there, they're all experienced players. They're all playing at a really high level. Lads know their own jobs. You know what I mean? Duffy's Duffy's a leader. He never stops talking on the pitch. John Egan's a leader at Sheffield United. Some players, maybe don't speak as much on the pitch, but they lead with their performances. So the lads know what to do. And like I said, anything that Stephen's asking them to do, getting up to the pitch, setting their press line higher, it's something that it won't be new to them. Obviously it'll be new to them in an Ireland shirt, but they'll be doing it at club level. So, I feel the lads will be much better prepared for playing in the way that Stephen wants this week. And like I say, hopefully we can get a result. If we can do it playing that style and playing attractive football, they're brilliant. But, I don't think the lads will mind if they come away with a scrappy 1-0 leader.
If Stephen Kenny goes with his 3 midfield regulars that are fit tomorrow night, Stephen, it's going to be Conor Hourihane, it's going to be James McCarthy, and it's going to be Jeff Hendrick. How do you protect James McCarthy and how do you allow him to protect the back 4 a little bit better than what we saw in the first game against Bulgaria?
Listen, like I said, it was early in sort of the pre-season. James has had a lot of football since then. He's played really well. Connor's done well. Jeff's obviously doing really well at Newcastle. So, listen, the three of them in there are fit lads. Jeff, obviously, I've played with for years. He gets around the pitch. And I think, like I said, Stephen will judge it himself. There'll be a certain way that they play in the midfield. He might sit one of them a bit deeper and play a number 10 or play two higher off one. That remains to be seen. But, I don't think he'll want us to be isolated with just one sitting up front of the back four. But I think we will go there and press like he wants us to. So it'll be interesting to see how they set up. But I think, listen, we've got legs in the team, and that's most important. And I think, the lads now, like I said, sometimes it's difficult for people to understand. But then first couple of games of pre-season, you're really finding your feet. You're mentally just getting sharper. Your legs and your mind are just getting back used to getting to the level that you need to be. And like I said, the lads have had that now. They've had 3 or 4 games. They'll all be a lot fitter, a lot sharper, have a lot more match practice in them, which is something that it's so important. So, I think all the lads will be ready to go, and they'll be fit. And hopefully, like I said, we can put on a really good performance.
The one last thing I wanted to ask you about, I don't know if you've played against both of them in training, but the two Callums, it's O'Dowda and Robinson. That's the one area of the team where there's a little bit of doubt about who Stephen Kenny might pick. I think we kind of know largely the makeup of the rest of the team at this stage. What are they both like to play against? Who's faster of the two, and who would you pick?
It's difficult to say who's faster. I think Callum's probably... He's deceivingly quicker than you think. He's very sharp, Callum, on the ball. He moves it really well. He's got a good drop to the shoulder. Callum's probably a little bit more explosive, more of a sort of a more direct forward player. Callum's more of a winger. Callum?
Yeah, you mean O'Dowda? O'Dowda's deceptively quick.
Callum, yeah. Callum O'Dowda's, he's the one that's a bit, probably 5 yards sharp. He drops his shoulder well. Where Callum Robinson's obviously... he's got that sort of forwards instinct. It's a difficult decision for me. I'd also have Robbie Brady in contention there. I know he's not played a lot of football, but I always think, for the years that I played in the squad with Robbie, what he brings, his energy, his set piece delivery is unbelievable. Always gives us a chance to score. I think, obviously showed that coming on in Bulgaria. So, listen, I think the most important thing is we've got real options out wide now. James McLean as well, who, what he's going to give you. Especially in a big game like this, he'll give absolutely everything for the cause. So it's nice to have them options. I wouldn't want to be the one making the decision, but I'm sure whoever Stephen goes will be ready to go.
Good stuff. And you're predicting it sounds like a scratchy 1-0 win, maybe on penalties, who knows?
To be honest, mate, I think it'll be tight. I think they're a decent side, but I think we've got the capabilities of going there and winning. But like I said, listen, I hope we win 2 or 3-0 and we play them off the park, but I'll be more than happy waking up Friday morning if we've won 1-0 and Duffy scored a header from a set piece. I'd take that all day long.
That sounds like the most likely outcome of all. Great to have you with us, Stephen. Thanks a million. Cheers.
Good guys.